should be very interesting. And all right. So we are live. Good evening, morning, or afternoon, depending on when and where you are watching this Facebook Live. This is the voice and the face of Dr. Tolu Olabinton, CEO and co-founder of Living Spring Family Medical Center here in the beautiful and now kind of warm city of Mansfield, Texas. I
Yay.
am, I know, right? The weather is really good. I am very happy and excited, as always, to have conversations that help our patients live long and well because we believe the quality of life is just as important as the quantity of life. Now, today, I have with me an awesome guest who has agreed to come and discuss with me the topic, Doc, I like Naija food, but I want to lose weight. Help me. And so we're talking with a Nigerian coach expert. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Ms. Forlahkeh Adegunle. Thank you for coming. Please introduce yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Forlahkeh Adegunle. Hey, they call me Coach Forlahkeh. I'm I've been, I was a trainer in the military, like fitness trainer. Then
Wow.
after I left the military, that's how I got my passion for fitness. So I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition specialist, and I'm a mom of three beautiful children and a wife. And believe it or not, I'm HR by profession, human resource.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, awesome. Now, one of the things you didn't mention, and I'll blurb a little bit on her, is that she's the owner of StayFit Fitness, where
Thank
they make
you.
health and fitness a lifestyle. She's also a polycystic ovarian cyst survivor who has been able to manage her symptoms through diet and exercise. And that's why she's all about making fitness a lifestyle and not just a quick fix. Yes, a lifestyle. Her
Thank
lifestyle has
you.
changed her life, and she firmly believes that it can change yours too. I am so happy to have you on here.
I'm glad to
Um,
be here. Thank
awesome,
you.
awesome, awesome. So I have a quick question though before we go ahead. Why do you do what you do? What got you into the fitness? I mean, you have the background, but what got you doing this as a thing?
As a Nigerian, I've tried every diet on the planet. I'm on the chubby side in my family. When you look at compared to other siblings, they'll be like, "Oh, you're thick. Oh, you're this. You're this." And in my head, I just have to do everything I needed to lose weight. So there's no diet on the planet that I've never tried. Then the more I try one, then if I go back to eating Nigerian food, I gain the weight back. And that's like, it was a routine for me, back and forth, back and forth. Then eventually I was like, one day, enough is enough. I am going to go study. If a tomato here is the same tomato back home, the calorie content is the same. The vegetable back home is the same vegetable, calorie content is the same. So therefore, there has to be something I need to learn. There has to be something I need to know to make my food, what I've grown to know, to make it something that I would eat without even feeling guilty or be feeling bad about it. So that's why I went to study to get all these certifications just to help people that are just like me, people that are still struggling, or people that are still confused about what to eat, how to eat, and when to eat. Yes,
Mm,
ma'am.
mm. I love what you do, and I love the fact that you can relate to the struggles.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
so it makes you able to connect with your clients better. So, and I can attest to the fact to patients or clients of mine that you also helped, who are also shouting you out.
Thank you.
All right. So my first question to you is this. Now, we kind of hinted at it. A big part of our culture is our food.
Yes.
No offense for those who are watching. Nigerian food is the best.
Yes.
I'm so happy. I'm so thankful that I'm Nigerian, that I get the privilege of eating our foods and to enjoy its different varieties. But I was gonna say this to you. What my first question to you is this: what are the three most common challenges your clients face in trying to lose weight with our food? So I've talked about how delicious they are, how but what are the three, I would say, most common challenges you've seen with your clients in losing weight with our foods?
Number one, not knowing the quantity to eat. Some, they just eat once a day. They feel that once a day is the best thing. And number three, the combination of the different food. Sometimes we combine this, combine that, combine that, combine that. But by the time we add everything together, that's like an overkill. So those are the struggles.
Okay. So you talked about quantity. So let's delve into that a little bit. And for those who are watching hashtag live, for those who are watching replay, hashtag replay, of course, tag your friends, they can watch live, and please, questions are welcome. So let's talk about the quantity. I'll be honest with you. I grew up where you ate everything that's on your plate. There was nothing like your food. Like there was nothing. You ate whatever was on your plate. That's one, because there were people who didn't have food, and so you not eating everything on your plate was just wrong as a child. And then number two, our serving size. I describe it this way, where it's like mountain rice, volcano stew, rishi on the side. And it's usually a good size. And we've gotten used to eating that over and over again. Like big plates. So when I see small plates, I get insulted. Like, what are you doing? The big plate. So my question is this: what would say is the first step in guiding clients, your clients who, like me, love Nigerian food, but are used to the quantity? Like, what do you say to them? Like, no, you give me, this is too small, you're insulting me. What do you say to that?
One of the things I do with my clients is I don't believe in stressing anyone out. I don't want you to stress. I always tell them, I want you to look at the total picture, meaning I'm not going to tell you what to eat, but I will tell you this is what you are allowed to have in a day.
Okay.
If I say you can have 1,500 calories in a day, if you decide that you want to eat the whole 1,500 calories as a meal, that's your problem. But eventually, I think doing it this way, it makes them to learn that, I can't, if I really need to eat dinner or lunch, I may have to scale back on this breakfast to save more food for later. So that's how I guide my clients. I'm not about deprivation. I'm not going to dictate to them, oh, you need to eat this, or this is, no, I give you a number, or you have an allowable calorie, or if we're doing another style, you have allowable, whatever I give you, but it's your decision to do them. It's like giving them dollars. Here is $500. Go spend them however you want. A lot of people will be prudent, but if you spend your whole $500 today, guess what? Tomorrow, I know you will be prudent to spend it wisely. Yes, ma'am.
So what you're essentially encouraging or challenging your clients to do is to actually count their calories and know what they put in their body, so they know how much is what. And so as they learn, they adjust. Okay, this one is too much. I can cut down here. I can cut down there.
And sorry, and before you go, leave that. And the reason for doing that is, remember, I'm about lifestyle. Eventually, I want the client to be able to eyeball the quantity and be like, oh, that's 100 grams of rice. Oh, that's 100 grams of F4, and vice versa. Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. And I have a comment here from Sadeji. Thank you so much for commenting. It says, in African meals, we make sides like rice the main meal and make the protein a side. So let's talk about that a little bit. What's the advantage of making the protein more than the rice, making the rice more a side and the protein more?
It depends on your goal. Everybody, if you just want to lose weight and look droopy and just, some people, there's a weight loss and fat loss. If you want to lose weight on a high carb diet, hey, your body is going to retain a lot of water. It's okay. That's you. But if you want to keep your muscle, you need some protein. So everybody, like based on age, weight, height, you have the requirement of the protein to meet in a day. So that protein helps protect your muscle as you're losing weight, so that you don't begin to lose muscle too. You're only burning fat. But if you're doing high carbohydrate, it's going to affect you in the long run.
So your
Like
protein intake is very
physics-wise.
important.
Yes, ma'am.
The second thing you mentioned was the frequency. Is there an ideal frequency of eating? Some people say once, so there are different schools of thought. Some say small, frequent meals. What are your thoughts? What do you typically feel?
For some people, the small meals don't work. Like, it doesn't work for them. For some, it's eat when you're hungry. For some people, 3 big meals work for them. So there's no one size fit all.
It's all.
Everybody, that's why I always tell my client, listen to your body. If your body is craving something, that means you need it. That means I'm not saying like craving overeating, but if your body is saying, I'm hungry, you need to listen to your body. And that's one thing I make sure that my client understand. Always listen to your body. How do you feel every day? If I like small meals, I can't tell my client to eat small meal if it doesn't work for them. So everybody have their own thing going.
Everybody has their own, is individualized to the person.
Yes.
Now, what of someone who's saying, I'm trying to, eat within this, but I don't feel full? Are there any quick hacks that you can give them, like a shortcut? Let's say that I've tried this, I don't feel full. I feel like you spend my money in food.
But the thing is, what are you eating? There are some food that is very high in fiber or protein protein, for instance, protein will keep you full and fiber will keep you full. But if you spend those calories in sugary food or stuff, that thing digests so quick that before you turn around, you're craving for more. You're craving for more food. So my first question to them would be, what are you spending those calories on? You have to spend it on something that will fill you up, not something that will satisfy your sweet tooth and you call it a meal. So, yes, ma'am.
I love that. One of the things I tell people is go after the protein first. That
Yes.
general rule, especially when you go to parties. Naija party, you have the rice, you have all the me, what I do strategically, I will go and get meat. I mean, I do fruit and vegetable. I love it, but I will get meat first. And so I get my protein first, and then rice. Even though it's hard, I'll be honest with you, especially the jollof rice that has the smoked smell. Yeah, so I eat that first. So at least my stomach is settled, and so I can graze on the rice. And I love that you said fiber. What are you spending it on? And I like your method because you give. It's almost like you're not spelling it out in little details. You're saying this is what you go ahead and figure it out based on these foods, and then you start to know what works for you, what is going to count towards your calories, and what's not. In the end, you're self-learning subconsciously. I love it. Now, the third thing you mentioned was combination. Can you give, now, of course, these are medical suggestions. I do recommend, coming up with an individualized plan, and talking with a coach or with your primary care doctor, a nutritionist, your team. But what combination typically would you recommend as a safe starting point for your clients? And I'll give it more specificity. Let's talk okele.
Okay.
Swallows, for those who may not understand, swallows and soups. Let's say you go somewhere, it's a party, and you're like, oh, I've been following Coach Forlahkeh, and she says my combination is important. What would you suggest?
Yes, the first thing I would say, I always tell if you're going somewhere that is not your typical home cooked meal, you need to bank your calories, meaning try and save up. Don't eat yet. Or maybe have a protein drink, something that is not really high in calories, so that when you go there, you can indulge, you can eat more. So for instance, if I get there and they have all this okele, I will look at, okay, what am I going to have? Look at the quantity. If the quantity is big, cut it into half. Cut it into half. Look at the grease. Sometimes it's okay. People look at me crazy in public. If I get a puff and I grab a paper towel, I squeeze the oil out of the puff.
I don't know.
Yes, look. If you get somewhere and you have the okele and they have this cooked spinach soup that is the oil is just, everything is swimming.
You run it over.
Get paper towel, dab, 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 dab. I would dab the oil out until I can't dab anymore. I'm sorry. That's because that's if you have to eat it. You know, sometimes you go there, you really want to eat. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But dab it. But have an idea. If the typical one that if they give you a whole bowl, try and cut it back because you don't know what's in it. And the protein, this is not the time to believe it or not, beef is very high in fat, so therefore it's very high in calories, even though it's protein. But it's because of the fat quantity. Sometimes when you get a beef, the fat quantity might even be higher than the protein. So you want to be careful. Go for fish instead of the beef in that situation. Remember, when we go to our event, the fish are fried, so it has oil. This is your time to also dab the fish. Oh, that's funny. This is the time. Dab it, remove the oil, and put the fish. Then all I'm saying is quantity, and don't eat to be full. In that kind of situation, you don't want to eat until they have to pull you out of there. You are tired. You've eaten. Quantity, small quantity. Look at it. Cut it, everything in half. Half it. That's how I would suggest that you eat out. If you don't have a choice, especially if it's not something that you cooked.
I love it. So many tips here. I did the dab so people can remember the dab. Very important. And I love, how we're talking about the different meats. Of course, we fry our fish, we fry our meats. I tell people also you can do goat, chicken, fish. Similarly, it's better than beef as far as caloric content too. Even though goat can also be oily, but it's better than beef. I love the dabbing method, and there are different hacks. Air frying. I love making a bole in the air fryer, spraying it and cutting the ridges. Especially when the plantain is super sweet. It's not quite dodo, but it's close. Especially if the plantain is sweet. So there are ways we can enjoy our foods without increasing our cholesterol or heart risks. And
can I also say sometimes when we eat like typical Africans, we want to eat jollof rice with a roll, with everything. Another thing I do, and my clients, we do this a lot. You get the jollof rice, get the fried rice, have baby spinach. Baby spinach, I have it handy in my house, fresh. Take your jollof rice, put baby spinach on top, or put the baby spinach, put jollof rice on top, warm it for a long time. Then mix and mix and mix and mix. It will look like a roll in jollof rice.
Are you serious? I'm going to try that.
Ma'am. I try with if you want to cook a stew and you don't want to you have red stew, just put a little red stew on the roll and mix. After it's warmed up, it will look like, the red stew on the fresh spinach, it looks fresh. So if I eat beans, our African beans, I add the baby spinach in it, warm it up, mix it up, and that's a meal right there. Balanced diet.
I like it. See, it's to the point now where I cannot, I had a conversation, I mean, it was years ago. I had a conversation with a Nigerian client of mine, and diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. And I was like, you have to be careful about salt. You have to be careful about this. You can't eat it Friday. And he literally was almost in tears. Like, Mami, you want to kill me? What am I going to eat? Like life is not what. And I said, you know what? I can relate because, if you want to treat me to a good meal, amala, it will do on stew with the original. Like that's the spot. And so I could relate. Like if you told me not to eat foods I enjoyed because I would be distraught. But I love what you're doing. That you are teaching our clients that there are ways to adjust, still enjoy it, but adjust it so it's not to their detriment. I love it. One more tip I was going to share. When we go to parties, I also look for other things to feed my joy so that I don't feel like food is the only thing. So talking to people, music, and the vibe, I try so that food is not the only thing that is really going to make me happy there. All right. So my next question to you is this. Someone mentioned it here and I loved it. I didn't want to miss it, is water. That, drink, sometimes you're not You're not hungry.
You're
Drink
thirsty.
water if you're still hungry. Now, what are your thoughts before meals, after meals? Of course, water has 0 calories, so that's a good.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that? Where water plays into all of this?
You know, I wouldn't tell people to do what I wouldn't do. Me, I just drink. I say drink when you're thirsty. I'm not about the, oh, carry gallon up and down. That's not. I because I did it in the past whereby I wanted to drink 1 gallon. I was dizzy that I didn't know I was flushing out my electrolyte. I was so dizzy
Mm.
that I began to research, and I'm like, no, you don't. You just drink when you're thirsty. The how you look at the to know that you're well hydrated is your pee. So you drink when you're thirsty. Hey, a lot of people, they believe when you drink water first, you are not able to eat too much. But if you have calorie, if you it's like having money in the bank. If the money is finished, what are you going to spend?
Mm.
So if you don't have any other calorie left, or if you don't have anything left, guess what? There's nothing left. You have to go. Sometimes I have to force myself to go to bed early because I finished my food for the day. Hey.
That's discipline, though. I love that. I
Yes.
love that. Um, I love the drinking water while you're thirsty. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people generally recommend half your calories in ounces for water, but I love the looking
You
at
may
your
have your weight.
yeah,
Wait.
half your weight in
Yeah.
ounces.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the fact that you're mentioning that checking your urine. So your urine shouldn't look like this.
Yes, ma'am.
It's
Mm-hmm.
too dark. It should be a light yellow,
Mm-hmm.
almost transparent, like clear. It
Yeah.
shows that you're well hydrated, not completely white, because then that's too much.
Yes.
But it's important to stay hydrated as well. But this has been really, really enlightening. We have a lot of feedback here. Someone actually mentioned Coach Forlahkeh for president, so I wanted to highlight that in case you did not.
Oh, thank you. Those are my people.
Yes, and a lot of them can attest to the beans, adding the baby spinach to beans
Mm-hmm.
too. I'm going to actually try that. That was a very, very, very good tip.
Thank
Now,
you.
someone asked a question here, Miss
Yes.
Madeline. She said, breastfeeding moms who want to lose weight and cut down on food without affecting their milk supply. Any tips? Let
So
you address that first, and then I'll go ahead as well.
I know a lot of, I can say a lot of people tend to run away from breastfeeding moms. They be like, oh no, when you've done breastfeeding. But the thing that I like about what I do is I put myself through the test.
Mm, mm,
I feel diet is possible if you have the right coach. I have breastfeeding moms in my group on and off. I've had people, and I will continue to monitor the milk intake. So a breastfeeding mom, you're not gonna, if your normal weight is this, we add extra calories
calories, yes.
to,
Okay.
to supplement for the child, and we continue to monitor. I'm not gonna give you the max calories to add. I increase the calories as I go. If I check with you within a week and you say your milk supply, then I add more food. And sometimes one thing I realized with some of the clients before was, oh, coach, my milk supply is dropping. Then I asked them, how much water are you drinking? They're not drinking. They're not drinking enough water because now you're working out, you're sweating, you still have to drink water.
Mm.
So you have to drink water so that the milk supply would be up. So a breastfeeding mom, you just eat more than you normally would eat.
Yes,
Yes,
you have to adjust for the calorie burn too from the
mm-hmm.
breastfeeding. So
Yes.
really, really important. And your body has a way of telling you when you are depleting in nutrients. You feel
Yes,
tired,
ma'am.
you feel dizzy. So we don't want to get to that point. So working with someone who will guide you and monitor the progression is very, 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 very
Yes,
important.
ma'am.
Um, all right, Coach Forlahkeh, this has been good. A lot of feedback, a lot of followership live. So this is great. For
Thank
people who are
you.
wondering, I like this coach. Oh. She doesn't have me eating only certain foods. She says I can eat my Nigerian foods, and I get to control when and what. Where can people find you?
I'm everywhere. I'm on Facebook as StayFit Fitness one, or look for Forlahkeh Adegunle, Forlahkeh Adegunle, or my website stayfitfitness.co, not .com, .co. And I'm on Instagram, Fitness Shop. So that's StayFit Fitness Shop, SF Fitness Shop. And where am I again?
Everywhere.
I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. Just on my Instagram, Facebook, send me a message and I will respond. Yeah.
Awesome. And we've already put the information here, your Facebook pages, your Instagram, a lot of feedback here, giving you a shout out. This is great. Please share this with those who could find this useful. We can enjoy our foods and still lose weight. Yay. And for those who may have questions, you can connect with her directly as well as with me through this page. But this has been very good, Coach. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. All right. Thank you all for watching. I cannot tell who's watching live and who's, I can't see other people who are watching, but I thank you for joining live. And if you or anyone you know is looking for an awesome, a thorough and passionate Nigerian physician in the Mansfield, Texas area, who will have conversations about our food to help you live long and well, I am she. Have a good one. Thank you, sis.
Thank you. Thank you. Bless you too.